A short bit of music here just to make sure that A, you can hear, and B, we can get a few people in, because 62 people watching at the moment. Give us a one if you can hear me as well as the music. That'd be great. Cheers. Cool. Now, don't forget, if you've got any theories on why somebody was shooting at Trump, was he allowed, was he not, whatever, call in when the music finishes and I actually come on, and let us know what you think. Well, numbers are coming up. Good. Nearly there.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Thought I'd just take the piss a bit there. Anyway. Hello. I haven't done a live stream for a while, so why not? I thought I'd just take the piss. Yeah.
Are you retarded?
Yes, clearly I am. Yes. Okay, it's not funny. I know. Right. Trump. Him getting, I mean, you gotta be honest, that was about as close as you want, really. Well, you wouldn't want it even that close, actually, but certain things you can say, oh, yeah, well, that happened back in the 60s, didn't it? Except, obviously, Kennedy slowed down to quite, well, about 10 mile an hour, and then there was numerous people shooting. Do I think that it was a properly organized thing? I don't think the gunman had the full backing that, say, for instance, the people that went after JFK did. All right. I don't think that at all. I know that he had something to do with Antifa. I think personally, he was somebody who had problems, obviously. You got to watch how you say this. It's always the same creature, isn't it? The one that was bullied at school, the one that had no, like, he wasn't cool. A bit of a dorky cunt. You know, the sort of person that nobody hung around with, really. And they're always trying to be, they always want to be cool. They have these fantasies about being a superhero and all the rest of it. And they've watched too many films and then they really badly quote one-liners out of stuff and shit like that. And you used to see them, like goth-looking fucks that were wandering around the place with like long jackets on, looking like there was something out of, what's the name of that film? Matrix or whatever it was. Now, I'm not saying he was one of those, but you know the type, right? It was like that. And I have to say, you know, from the distance, he wasn't a bad fucking shot. I think if Trump hadn't moved the way he did, it'd have been a very different story now. So that's one thing. You're saying he was a patsy. No. I have a theory on this. Listening to ex-Secret Service people, they said anybody who would have gone there and done a wreck of the place to work out where the high points were would have put people in the position that he was actually in. So you have to ask yourself, why was that not done? Is it incompetence or was there malice involved? Secondly, when there's people pointing out there's a shooter there, you would expect them to act a bit quicker than they did. So why didn't they? The very fact that this guy's holding a rifle and laying on a roof would basically tell the Secret Service that that's a person you need to take out. So that's obviously a bit of a question. There were some people saying about the woman behind saying you're fired and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel sorry for the innocent people that got shot and killed. Now, has this helped Trump? Yeah. They have actually handed him. I mean, when Reagan got shot, and Reagan was properly shot, and he was about a few millimeters away from death, because where the bullet ended up could have literally finished him off, and he was lucky. And at the time they piled him into the car, his security detail, he said to me, he said, "You're a bit heavy-handed." He said, "I think you might have bust one of my ribs." And it was only because they saw blood that was, and with bubbles with it, that they realized that his lung had been pierced. But at the time, nobody had questioned that having people that close was a problem. And then since then, there have been people obviously that close, because these people are public figures. They have to be in a position where people can get close to them and see them, because that's what the public demand. With Reagan's case, it was a guy that was off his tits trying to get the attention of the female actress Jodie Foster. Now, if the guy had done his homework, he would have realized that actually she was a lesbian and she wouldn't have been fucking interested anyway. But hey, lucky Jeff. So when Reagan came out, his polls soared. So you can see the same happening for Trump. Now, many are saying that the first thing they do is try to discredit. When they do that, they go after your family. And then after they've gone after your family, they try and go after your wealth. And when all that fails, they try and kill you. Well, there is certainly a pattern there. Do I think there will be more attempts on Trump? Of course. I'm pretty sure there will be now. I mean, some of these dorks, right, they haven't got much going on in their life, and they think they're going to go out a hero. I mean, this one probably thought that he was going to get taken out a hero. And there are people on the left, which some of them are hailing him as a hero, and others are taking a piss out of him saying you failed. But there it is. 1 second, let me just check the phone is connected. How many we got watching? We got 324 people watching. Let me see if I can connect this up. Roadcaster 2. Just check. Just in case anybody does. They might not want to. Give them the option. System. It's sometimes when we do this, it goes peaked on, doesn't it? Search for devices. Try again then, you fucking tard. Oh, there we go. We are connected. So if anybody does want to ring in, there it is. You have a choice. It's quite funny because Trump has now picked somebody who I would consider to be firmly in with the lumps of wood. So anybody who thinking this drain the swamp business is going to happen, sorry to let you down. The left don't want, what is it? Peace, division, chaos. Yeah, well, the left some of them are real immature, toy chucking. I hate everything shit, wreck it. They're out there. That's the way it is. So this is Trump's new vice president, VP. Ministers reject claims by Trump running mate J.D. Vance, lump of wood, that Britain is the first nuclear Islamist country. So obviously our lot have come out and rebuffed these ideas and said it's nonsensical, it's farcical. Well, look at it this way. We do have nuclear capabilities, and the birth rate at the moment for whites and Islamists is rising for the Islamists. I mean, if you say, for instance, you want to look at the way it's been taken over in Southern Ireland and how their population is rising massively with the help of the EU, then, you know, it's not too far off that, say, for instance, this does end up becoming an Islamist country. I mean, the figures back it up. Hello, PG. I was watching on the other channel, but was lonely on there. You know, had to put it out in a few channels just in case. I do see this country becoming Islamist unless something really dramatic happens. So that's, you know, it's not me being clever at predicting this. It's an inevitability, the way things are going. Am I happy about that? No. I'm one man. You know, we need a lot more of us actually to be upset about this and to be doing like a lot more. But the fact that we do have nuclear capabilities, and the moment that the population is 50-50, Islamists will go for Sharia law. The moment they go for Sharia, this will be a Islamist country, and they'll take over, and they will have nuclear capabilities, which means we will be the enemy of many countries. Not that we're not now. I mean, football is a good example. Did anybody see the map? Who will be supporting Spain? Who will be supporting England? England was the only one with a bit of an England, and Scotland was going to be Spain. Wales was going to be Spain. Ireland, Spain. Oh, and the rest of Europe. So that's nice. Nice to have the support. So, yeah, the future isn't bright. The future isn't orange, I'm afraid. Or it may be for the next few years over in America, but certainly not here. So let's have a quick go through the comments and see what people are saying. 379. Incidentally, did you get a notification for this? Okay, on the main channel that I was going to be going live. Did you see the Rev on a Ramp pop up, or was it another channel that you saw that I was going live through? Just out of interest, because I'm pretty sure I'm in the gulag again. This happens periodically. So there you go. You got one, surprisingly. Amazeballs. Who knows? I may eventually be coming out of the gulag. YouTube does this, and it happens to others as well. You'll do really well. Then all of a sudden they'll go, no, I think not. Rev, much love, your brother. No notifications. Only ones I get was on this channel. Yeah, I don't know which channel that is, by the way. So there you go. Yeah. There it is. Let's have a quick look through. The comment was made by J.D. Vance, the National Conservative Conference in Washington, D.C., Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner. She's got some trouble going on at the moment, I believe. Disapproved of Vance's portrayal of the UK during the Labour government. Well, basically, the guy's theory is that now Labour are in. Labour are literally going to be all for the Islamists because that's their voting bloc. Although I truly believe that the Islamists will be using Labour right up until the point they can get their own party together. Then they'll all vote for that. This is all the extreme Islamists, you know, the real Islamists, not the Islam light, you know, the ones that actually came over here to escape it kind of thing, or their kids who actually have the common sense to realize that should this country become like what their parents had run away from, then it's not going to be a country worth living in, obviously. So how do you see it? Do you see Labour literally getting down on bended knees and basically sucking on the proverbial Pilsner of Islam? Because I don't actually see them standing up because they don't want to look racist or Islamophobic or whatever the bullshit you want to call it. Let's have a look. The Telegraph has written this about GB News. So let's see what GB News is supposed to be for us. Oh, is there a clip I can play? Oh, right. I don't know if you can hear this. So let me try and present it. Share screen. Hello. Hello.
Oh.
How's it going?
Oh, I thought I'd put the wrong phone number in.
No, you're through. How you doing?
I'm a class 2 driver, same as yourself. Well, maybe it's class 1 you drive, but
well, it's class 2 at the moment, but I'm class 1 and class 2. But
well, so am I. But yeah, I can't get the work. Yep. No, I just wanted to say thank you very much for bringing to light a heck of a lot as people are thinking.
It makes me wonder, why do I bother? Don't get us the wrong way. I'm thinking, why do I bother doing this? Because I've come as far as I can, right, with this. And if people haven't worked it out by now, they're never going to. But I don't actually know, because people are waking up. And also, it's more about the comments that you lot all talk to yourself, or talk to each other, I should say, and realize that you're not in your Jack Jones. I think that's the point of doing this, more than just me saying it.
Yeah.
But
it must feel like you're punching a brick wall at some point. And
yeah, I mean, the comments are lovely, but
you can tell by my accent I'm Scottish, so you presume I'm SNP and all that. And
no,
far from it, mate.
No, most Scottish people, most normal Scottish people ain't SNP, because they've worked out that lot are just going to hand your country over to whoever pays them. And also,
yeah,
I mean, if
they're
they're
working
true,
on it, aren't they?
yeah. I mean, I can understand some Scottish people wanting their independence, and I can understand others working out that financially they may well be better off sticking in the union. And that's completely up to them, and I don't blame either one. If I was Scottish, my heart would tell me I want my independence, but my head would tell me, is it financially better to stay locked in with this lot? That's where I would stand. So, it is what it is.
And unfortunately, a lot of my kith and kin, you could describe as they've seen Braveheart too many times and think it's real.
Yeah.
The whole anti-English thing. I've worked in Birmingham, Manchester.
But the Braveheart thing didn't look very good, did it? Because I mean, you've got an Australian trying to be Scottish, right? And in the end, he has his balls hacked off, thrown on a fire, has his guts opened up, and then has all his bits chopped off. It wasn't a good finish. But
yeah, it's farcical, isn't it? But try telling it to you. Probably remember when the election about separation stuff happened, and I was called a traitor. I was, really verbally abused about my opinions, but yeah.
See, the other interesting thing is, and I don't know if you've noticed this, that when they want to break up Great Britain, all right, if you're in Scotland and you want to be a nationalist, that's considered a great thing. Scottish National Party, Scotland being a national party, them wanting their independence is a great thing. But if you call yourself British National Party, you're immediately a racist. It's kind of work.
It's the same with Trump, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
They do so much word salad just to come out with, well, actually, we just don't like that group, so we're going to call names on that group. And that group serves our purpose, so we'll back them up. I mean, you've got it when they're all coming out and they're wearing these flags of people that are indiscriminately killing people, and you think to yourself, both sides in that are fucked. Why are you picking a side, you idiot?
Yeah.
So, this is it.
It's okay when we do it, in other words.
But what it is the left tend to decide which direction they want to go. Go back years ago. You got Jeremy Corbyn, like rubbing shoulders with the IRA, right? Now he wanted, and anybody that's wanted to push for socialism, that was him, and that was because the IRA were pushing for a united Ireland under a socialist government. So that was all he was about. So he didn't give a shit the fact that they were going around setting bombs off and blowing up innocent women and children and stuff like that. That's unfortunate. Mistakes were made. Again,
another example of, it's okay when we do it.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
you're perfectly correct. I was over there in 7th Squadron, and it's okay when we do it. But
and this,
if Mr. Middle-aged Whitey does it, oh, you're all the bastards. Yeah.
And this also leads on. If you were over there, you realize just how much intelligence was being gathered by so many different organizations. So you'd have had the British Army, MI6, MI5. You'd have had what's the fucking name of him? You'd have had the Force Reconnaissance Unit, Force, the DET.
The SRR didn't exist then, but yeah, there was versions of that. I was just not RF. I just fixed helicopters, but yeah, I did. Yeah.
And then you had also
it was there, yeah.
The Royal Ulster, them lot, they were doing it. What was the police called?
RUC,
yeah. So the RUC, there was so many different, and the thing was, these people had information coming from loyalists, or they were in the loyalists, they were in the provos, right? And all these different groups were running different people that didn't know about the other people. And it was a dirty war. But what I'm trying to say here is what's gone on with Trump at the moment. There'll be so many different agencies that have little bits of information on different stuff that they sometimes don't share. There'll be informants that will give information across that people would have known, say, for instance, that bloke was going to do what he was going to do and let him get on with it. And it's such a dirty little tangled web. I mean, if you think about it, Northern Ireland could have been sewn up a lot earlier than it was, but they let it go on and for reasons that only they will know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting that how the guy was crawling over the roof and they just chose to ignore it. I mean, come on, we're both men in the world. We both know there was something going on there, wasn't there?
Do you know what? If somebody went up to a Biden...
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but yeah, there was something going on.
If it was a Biden outfit going on, it was a Biden trying to give a mumble. Sorry, I'm out of speech. If he was trying to do that and somebody got up there with a pea shooter, he'd have had so many guns trained on him. That'd have been it. But nobody wants to take out Biden.
And did you hear them? Oh, it was an air gun. Try to downplay it. And so, I know a crack a rifle.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, they've had a go at him, like it did Reagan.
But they call it a report, don't they? The sound of a gunshot is a report over there. That's what they call it. But yeah, basically, an air rifle, you wouldn't have heard it. Not in that crowd.
You know the sound. It's just the usual left-wing cover-up, and they said popping noises reported. And in other words, they would have been perfectly happy if former President Trump had been killed. They'd be doing delighted. Well, didn't happen.
Yeah, they were absolutely gutted, and so many people have come out screaming and shouting about this, that it's unfair that he's still alive, right? And what you would consider to be normal-looking human beings are being interviewed by people, and he said, it's gutting that, somebody didn't get him, but somebody else will. And the guy says,
so it's a shame they missed. Yeah.
And the guy said, do you condone this? Do you think it's a good thing? The guy went, yeah, I do. It was like, fucking hell. You condone somebody murdering somebody because he doesn't stand with your policies. Where in the world have we got?
Yeah, and they call him a fascist.
Well, if you look at Verhofstadt's just come out, because I think I put it on my Twitter, like it's words like this, and he was calling Trump a literal Nazi. The words he used was Nazi, right? And I'm saying, look, with words like this, you are stirring people up, lone nutters, to do terrible things. And I couldn't be too specific because you don't want to get blocked, do you? But I mean, it's fucked.
Here, let's face it, he looked exactly like we all thought he would.
Yeah, like an incel.
Let's be honest. We can't say it, but he looked exactly like we all thought he would.
This bloke looks like he's never had a decent fucking blowjob off a bird in his life. Do you know what I mean?
Or punch in the face.
or a good slap. Yeah. All the rounding features that makes a bloke a bloke. I would suggest...
You put it better than I can, but yeah.
But do you reckon it's low test? I'm wondering, right? Because low testosterone is a thing in my age group, and you get more anxious, you lose your libido. All the things I'm going through at the moment. Hey, maybe I should take a low test diet. Anyway, let's move away from that. Kids today, the youth of today, they went around the left and they did these testosterone tests on them, and they found out that their test was so much lower than, say, somebody of my age. And it's like, if you've got a generation of low tests, A, they've got no confidence. B, they won't go out and be a bit more bullish and actually stand out from the crowd and impress a woman. Because here's the thing, right? Whether we like it, a man's predisposed to be one way and a woman's predisposed to be the other way, and that does attract the other. All of this bullshit that they put out there in the media, the papers, it doesn't work. There's nothing that's going to dry a bird up quicker than a fucking bug, but literally the soyest prick in the world trying to, white knight for you. Fuck off. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, they talk.
I'm maybe a bit out of the scene because I'm 45, but yeah, it's perfectly true.
Mate, I'm 49, right? And there's...
I'm not far off here then.
There you go.
It's true. It's true.
And I'm fucking lumpy, starting to lose the hair a bit, as you could see, starting to go a bit grey. I'm carrying much more weight than I probably should, but because I've got the balls to come out and say it the way it is, right? And I'm like, if somebody comes and gets me, they get me. That's the way it is. That to the normal women, they'll overlook the fat part. You're funny, and you do the right thing. And they I mean, I've had a few women say that they like me because of this, right? So just be yourself. Poetically put, Rev. Thank you, Peachy Kins. Now, Peachy Kins thinks I'm all right, but not quite as good as our Maya Tusi. Don't you, Peachy? I'm waiting for your response, sweets. Yeah, bless her. Do you know what? She come up to see me, right? I always say this, right? She come up to see me at a demo. She goes, "Hi, Rev. Sorry, Maya." And she was gone. And it was like, you fucking cow.
Yeah.
How did the date go?
The thing is, though, you're that age, so am I. And I always think the youth of today are just lost. But my nephew, he's not lost. He's doing the job joinery, learn something. Yeah. He seems to be switched on. So it's not completely lost. I think a lot of us are just the silent majority. And now we're standing up for it. and we're starting to go, no, it's not okay. I mean,
hang on, you're gonna like this, right? Somebody just put Rev sober likes women. Rev drunk calls men love. Yeah, it's fair.
yeah. What can you say? Yeah.
I'll get the cans on, all right?
I think the silent majority we're standing up now and we've had enough and going, nah,
Yeah.
not done.
No.
And I think Nigel Farage, he's possibly going to get the same treatment as Trump did. It's going to happen. Some lunatic will take a pop at him.
Are you ready for some conspiracy stuff now?
Go for it.
Yes. Imagine, right, that say, for instance, Trump and Farage are supported, paid, and slightly directed by a group of individuals that you'd least expect. Imagine that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, imagine
I'm there.
that they're there to astroturf, right? Astroturfing is when a organization comes along with lots of money and throws it at what looks like grassroots organization, which hoodwinks the average person into believing this is a grassroots organization, and they bring it up. And what they do is they control the nationalism, they control the patriotism, and they can direct it. And they make sure that it's paid opposition, that when it gets too close to being successful, they'll collapse it. And that puts opposition back, or that puts things back about 10 years. Some of the people are getting the hang of it in the clients, right? So, right, your likes of Farage, your likes of Trump. I mean, look who bailed Trump out. He was going to go bankrupt, and there was a group of bankers that bailed him out. Look at these people when they go over and they kiss the wall, okay? So some of that.
Yep.
But the thing is,
yep,
people will say, well, if they're paid opposition, why are they getting shot at? Because the opposition to who they're meant to be opposing don't know that. They just think that they're racist, bigoted, homophobic, xenophobic, pick more phobics. There's about 5 or 6 more in there, right? They're all of these things. They're literally, they're Hitler reincarnated. That's how they believe, right? And some of these brainwashed, fucktard, literally dripping with autism types, right, believe that they're doing the right thing by taking this scourge off the face of the planet. In the same way that there are many people that believe that if they could have gone back and shot Hitler, everything would have been all right. No, it wouldn't, because somebody else would have popped up in his place, right? Okay, they might not have gone round and built chambers and stuff like that, and they might not have, although numbers are questionable, okay, but you should probably skirt around that. And the reason I say the numbers are questionable, because the people that go on about the numbers and say that if you don't agree and eat all this and that can't make their mind up on the numbers either. So, you get it right first, and let's see if we can talk about it then. That's where I am. Anyway, moving off that.
You need to be careful with what you say these days, because before you know it, your house door is going to get broken in by the police.
Well, this is why you skirt around it so far that you're literally in a neighboring county in a different postcode. You have to be so tenuous that nothing could be pinned on you. So, and that's why I am. You can make anything out of what I just said, but the people who are clued up will get the idea. But the thing is, right, there are so many elements out there of organizations that look like they're standing up for the right thing. And so many of them are funded by people who you would not expect to fund them, right? That to actually find somebody honest, straight up, truthful, or whatever, it's fucking hard going. And I would suggest that anybody who comes out of there with a lot of money, all right, just question first where that money came from. If they've earned it legitimately, then fine, okay? But you have to fucking work out, where is their money coming from? Where is their interest? Do they question all sides? Now, if they're questioning all sides, then you can start paying them some interest. If there's always one group that won't ever touch, then you know that they're probably not what you think they are. Because I do believe that by not questioning that group when they do something wrong, you're actually being what they accuse you of being for questioning them. Now, that's word salad, isn't it? But think about it. If you pick on everybody but them, then you've singled them out as being weak, or you've singled them out as being less than the others that can't take it. So if you don't single them out, you're actually being the thing. But if you single everybody out that fucks about, then you're not picking on any one group.
Kamala Harris is the perfect example, isn't it? Word solid, just complete rubbish. But, she's the vice president, so she can do what she wants, and she's also got that protection of being a black female, so she can see what she wants.
Well, at least she can now talk. Now she's got a mouth. Well, she's not got a mouthful because that was quite a way of getting up to the top, wasn't it? Impressive. I mean, let's be honest. If a fucking political career doesn't work out, I'm sure there's another career in the wings waiting that certain group did fund during the 70s, at least maybe the 80s. Moving on.
I mean, another one. The woman, I don't know her name, but the woman that the press secretary for Joe Biden.
Oh right, yeah, the one
just farcical.
I've not actually watched. I've turned off now because once you realise that it's all such an act and it's all such bollocks. Your life is precious, right? And whereas I used to watch all of this stuff, suck it in, and then put a video out there to dispel that, people should be able to see through it by now. You know what I mean?
So when you just roll your eyes, don't you?
Yeah, because my channel started out years ago as me ranting at the screen. Right, and it's moved from taking the piss out of the thing and calling out how obvious it is now to just live streams and the occasional video, right? Pointing out stuff because we're way past it now. We've worked out that democracy doesn't work because they stole the last election over in America, and this time they tried to shoot the cunt, right? So we know that they don't believe
they couldn't silence them. So yeah,
they know.
Exactly.
Well, they know they couldn't rob the election again because last time it was a little bit too fucking obvious, and they know that nobody with a brain, and I mean this to insult you people that are voting for Biden, I mean it. Anybody who votes for Biden, knowing that that person's not mentally capable to fucking run a bath or make a coffee, right, for himself, anybody who thinks that he's the man that's running the country is off their tits, right? But then this pulls us back to something else, right? They realized that they had to get rid of anything that stood a chance going up against him, right? But now after this real scare, right, that Trump's had, in case he was going out on a limb and deciding he was going to go a bit rogue, a bullet through the ear will remind you just in fucking who's in charge or how they can move things about or stop the people that are there to protect you actually protecting you. And shortly after that, he gets a lump of wood in. Excellent. Well done. Very clever. Now he's back in line. But there are so many levels to it and so many possibilities to it.
I couldn't agree more. And I was laughing, actually. I shouldn't be laughing, but I was laughing at the diversity hire of Secret Service agents.
Yeah. She was impressive, wasn't she? Honestly, mate, it was like a spinning top.
A little girl with all, she was attractive. I'll give her that, but come on.
Well, the blonde-haired one with a ponytail. I think she had a ponytail. She impressed me.
Yeah.
Right.
It was. I thought her ass looked nice, but it was farcical.
But the other one that couldn't get a gun in the holster, wasn't she the one that head down behind him? It's like, actually, you're supposed to be stood
it was
up.
Top 19, and she couldn't holster it because she doesn't know what she's doing. She was given that job because she was a woman. Let's face it.
It was a token job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye, token like a South Park, yeah.
4'2", fat, and couldn't handle a weapon or put it in her holster. Now, I'm putting it out there that she may not even be straight, all right? Because we've got to tick as many boxes as we can. And even Trump, you go, we've got to tick these boxes if we're going to get these voters. So
yeah, he thanked them, but fine, he was thinking the same thing as we were.
What I want to know is on his next
eyes and going, oh, fuck.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll stay down here until the lads come along and then we'll get the fuck out of it. But I want to know, the next time he goes out, is he still going to be surrounded by that bird or is she off? Because, I mean, she looked fucking ridiculous.
I doubt it highly. I presume she'll be in executive leave or whatever. But yeah, you're perfectly correct.
Somebody was saying they had to put the, what's that news, the Benny Hill tune with it. That would have looked better.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Honestly, but
you can't say that now. You can't say that.
But we live in a world
you're one of the few that does. You actually come out and say it. What we're all thinking. I just roll my eyes.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck anymore. They'll get me one day, but in between now and then, whatever. I mean, let's be honest. If this becomes an Islamic country, I'm a dead man anyway. So fuck it. Might as well enjoy it.
You and me both, mate.
Yeah, I mean,
you and me both.
And people are saying, well, what other country can we go to? You can't. It's a worldwide takeover from Islam, right? And we've had, obviously, the Crusades back in the day, where we went over there and took it to them. But there wasn't political correctness back then. There was reality and non-reality, right? What we have now is a bunch of people who have poisoned the well. They've dumbed down the population in the last 80 or 90 years. They made sure that the population stops the ability to free think and thinks with the rest of the hive. And when what they've done is they've weakened that hive, and they've made sure that certain demographics of that hive have been educated not to reproduce because it's bad for the world, not to do this because it's racist, not to say that because it's this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Great. So you've now weakened them to be taken.
What do you think? What do you think about the Jewish thing? Because I've seen a lot of negative comments about the Jewish folk, and to be honest, I don't agree with that because they've never done anything to me.
Right.
I don't know enough about it, but you know,
there's a
slagging the man off.
There's a Muslim group down the road, right? Not group, I should say, restaurant. Now, I've known those guys since I was 15. They've never done me any harm. They're fucking perfectly polite. I like them. I'm actually friends with at least one of them. But, yep, they've set a mosque up in my local town, all right? And they're thinking about putting the call to prayer out. And this is how it starts. They will push Islam. Now, they are what I call Islam light, right? But there will be others that will be more extreme, all right? Now,
yeah, a little bit at a time. Yeah.
Do you know how many different brands of Jew there are? Because I didn't.
No, I haven't got a clue. No.
Right. There are many, right? Now, when you go to Israel, you'll see the traditional looking Jews, right? You know, the ones with the hats and the hair around the ears and stuff, being beaten to fuck.
Hasidic.
I think so. Being beaten to fuck by what I would probably call Ashkenazi. Seriously, the division there. So when people are saying Jews, they're not saying all Jews. In the same way that when we say about Islam, we're not talking about all Islam. When you talk about pedophiles, you're not talking about all men or all women, are you? So this is the thing. But there is a group of banking. There is a group who are also, here's the other thing. These people would not be able to do or plan for what they do without the full assistance of every other color, creed, gender. They can't do it. But there is, I mean, if you look at who funded both sides of World War II, that would be an interesting start. If you look at, say, for instance, who decided to then change the way that the schools were being taught, because at the time they were being taught in such a way that kids were doing things like Latin. They were reading interesting literature. They were going to be free thinkers. They were going to be the sorts of people that could be solicitors, barristers, scientists, and I mean high upgrade stuff. And that was back in the day.
We've heard that before, yeah. Yeah.
So, and what happens, we had to dull the people down because they realized that these massive conglomerates, right, were ripping off people, right, ripping off the environment and stuff like this. I mean, you have to ask yourself, why is it, right, that Ford got so anti-Semitic, right? Why is it that he questioned the banking system? And he got literally destroyed for this. And I looked into it because they all said that he was a Nazi. And he did have a lot of time for Hitler, which is obviously looks really bad. But he also knew the way the banking system was run. He knew the way the political system had been corrupted. And he knew why wars were created. Now, if you look at, I think it's Smedley Butler, he wrote a book called War is a Racket. And what he worked out was that all wars are created to benefit the very few, the rich, the globalists. They make money on supporting the war, the rebuilding of the country after the war, the bank loans, which then are paid off over the next God knows how many years with all the interest. And you have to look where that money came from. Now, this is why certain groups of Jewish people get a bad rap, right? Or people go after them, all right?
Yeah, the Turner Diaries was a perfect example. I read it. I didn't really agree with it. But
thing is, did you hear about when they were in Israel, when they started to? There was the Ethiopian Jews, and they basically sterilized them without their permission. They didn't know it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You know, so when you hear about things like that, right? When you hear about Israel going back a fair few years ago, you know, like these UN resolutions one country like us might break one a year and get a bollocking. They'll break up to 50, and it's like, what are you going to do about it? Tough shit. And then when you've got the Samsung project, or which is probably not worded that right, their nuclear deterrence is if somebody attacks us, we're going to hit all of you. So you've all got to protect us. That doesn't indeed.
I flew over the North Sea with nuclear bombs. I can't say too much about it, but we carried them, and yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So you have to, when you hear stuff like this, I mean, we've gone around the world fighting their fights for them, right? A lot of the time.
Exactly.
And America,
exactly.
all right? So this is why people look at them a bit differently, all right? Now, there are a shitload of Jews that just want to crack on with their life and be left the fuck alone. Loads, right?
Yep.
But it's the ones that are in the positions of control, fuck it up for the rest of them. Now, the fact that their religion, in the same way that Islam does, looks at us as if we're much less than them, all right? Or I'll word this properly. When you think about it being...
you need to be very careful how you say it, but
and when you look at both sides, say, for instance, both of those groups I'm talking about are similar to a death cult, then you have to say, and obviously, when you've got people that decide they're the chosen ones, if they're the chosen ones, what are the rest of them? What are the rest of us to them? But they do. They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen Barbara Specter come out and say that we have to basically destroy Europe as it is now and turn it into one color. These people won't like it, but it has to happen. What's this? Rev speaking utter nonsense about Israel yet again. What, with a rat poisoned daughter of a suicide? Yeah, well done. Clearly. So Christ decided that, Rev. They didn't.
I appreciate speaking to you, and I agree with what you're saying, but unfortunately you're fighting a good fight, but
up against it. It is what it is. But
unfortunately, you're up against a brick wall. I think there's a lot of us that agree with you, but I don't know. I think you're fighting a wall.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But the thing is, right, just because something is so big and so massive and that you don't think you're going to win doesn't mean you shouldn't try. I mean, just to capitulate and give in is exactly what was expected, and most do. Which is why that most people that come out of school will do what they're told because they don't want to lose their house. They don't want to lose the car, the job, the pension, the lifestyle that they have. They don't want to lose it just for doing the right thing. So
correct. And I drive a lorry that's worth what? Probably about £500,000, same as you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both just workers, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get paid next to nothing,
correct, mate.
And you're replaceable by whoever globalists decide will work cheaper than you do. So that's why we're pulling people into this country that will work for fuck all, because that will keep the overheads down for globalism, and the rest of us will all fucking work for less or fight for the scraps.
Yeah, and CPC, as you know yourself, is a complete nightmare. You're bang on, mate. CPC destroyed the lorry industry, but yeah, you're right.
And the worst of it is I've got to go and sit a load of that if I want to carry on driving a truck. So I've got to think carefully whether I do want to carry on driving a truck.
Yeah, well, me too. I'm going through the exact same thing just now. I don't know if it can be arsed. I'm thinking about turning it in and just going, fuck it,
But then what, isn't it? That's the thing. What do you do then?
Well, I rely on my pension, but, RAF, but, I fought for this country, and now look at it. No way I would do it again.
No, but if you you knew you were doing before and who you're actually doing it for, would you do it then? I mean, I love my country. I just don't like the people that rule it, and I don't like the people that use us lot as cannon fodder in a war that many times we didn't need to be involved in. The Iraq,
absolutely correct.
The Iran, all that kind of stuff in the desert. Fuck off, leave them to it.
Yep, absolutely. I'm gonna hang up now and let you get on with your thing, and I'm gonna go back on live stream and watch it. But you're perfectly correct, my friend. really nice speaking to you.
All right, mate. You take it steady, all right?
God bless it, mate.
See you, mate. Bye-bye. What a lot of us in the comments have to realise is there's people at different levels of understanding. Hello.
Morning, Donkey.
Morning, love. How are we?
Not too bad. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, I've been out enjoying myself, actually going out with people and doing all sorts of things and not actually coming and doing a live stream. But I thought, well, we'll do one during the day while we're sober and see what happens. Not that I'm pissed every night. I don't drink when I'm at home unless I'm doing a live stream because there's no fun drinking on your own. I can't find the point. But yeah, I mean, on the weekends when you go out with friends, you play pool, you have a laugh, they'll go out on the bikes and whatever. Or just, just having a laugh, being sociable, speaking to humans, which you don't do when you drive a truck much. So
don't do it for me. Work from home. But by myself most of the day. Nah, just a dog to keep me company.
Well, at least you got a dog.
Similar.
No dog here. I
Why
have
so?
Dave over there, but I don't have a dog. Dave's fucking hell, by the way, Dave's huge. Look at the size of the cunt. He's absolutely
God.
He's taken out the window.
You. Oh, the plant.
Yeah, Dave the plant.
I'm surprised you've got that type of plant.
What? Because I'm skint.
No, I'm surprised you've got. It's not another type of leaf plant.
I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. This is the other thing. There's loads of people that I know that do like the sniff, and I'm like, I don't get it. Just not for me. So I've got another plant over there, and I don't know what he is, but he's doing really well at the moment. I know what he is. He's called Trevor, but I don't know what it is. Well, it's the obvious thing you name your plants, don't you? I mean, we got Spike and Cyril over there. Well, Spike's there, Cyril's there, for obvious reasons. One's spiky and the other's not quite so spiky, but yeah, you don't want them in your hands. But anybody know what this plant is? Hang on a second.
Let's see.
Anyway, so professional.
No, it looks like a Ken Dodd plant.
What did he pay or did he fuck?
Tickle brush.
Oh, right. You wouldn't want that tickling, you mate. But he's doubled his size in the last year. So
yeah,
I thought it was a cactus. No, those two are cactuses, right? Spike and Cyril.
You must have too much CO2 in your room.
What I've got is sunlight from both windows, so they seem to like it.
You must be experiencing global warming in there.
Yeah, so much so that it's actually been quite cold. I mean, this actually the sun's come out. It's I get 2 minutes to fucking get out there and get some sun. No, this has been what I would consider to be the least hot summer of my life. So, what colours are the flowers? There's no flowers that come off those two. So, yeah.
So what was phoning for is I have to be honest. I'm feeling that the world is totally fucked up now.
Yeah.
The country is totally fucked. I'm in Wales. Yeah.
All right.
We've got a Labour Council, a Labour Assembly. I won't use the S word. It says OXO on buses, but they don't sell them.
Right.
And a Labour government. And we are now starting to get. In fact, last night I was like, "I'm going to turn that off." I very rarely watch the news, but the news was on. The wife wanted to see a bit about something, and it went on to thing, and I just turned it off because they're going full retard on us now. There's no checks, balances. There's no whatever. They're like, "Yes, we can get on with our Looney Tunes." The only good thing is, while you've been on live stream, it's been announced that Bourne Gethin is stepping down as the First Minister of Wales.
He's only just got in there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just got in, but he was taking nice backhanders off criminals.
Beautiful.
Yeah, 200,000. Gave his company a loan of 400,000 from the Welsh Development Bank, whatever it is, and then he got £200,000 back in a funding donation to his campaign to become First Minister. He accused Anna Blyden of leaking WhatsApp messages from the Big C Times that he said had been deleted by the IT department, and that sacked her from the whatever they call it. She actually apparently walks past our house regularly, walking her dog, because she lives just over the back from us here. You know, I haven't got a clue who she is. I wouldn't know if I've just been told that. But it's all come out that he didn't, and he sacked her for no reason. And maybe there was a reason, but he didn't have the proof. But hey ho. So he's eventually fell on his sword.
Somebody's just said to me, lovely free speech plaque in the back. Yeah, I had to get, Alan had to get it made because YouTube wouldn't give me the 100,000 subscriber plaque, so he went and got it made. Apparently, I don't meet the criteria. In other words, I speak the wrong stuff. So yes, thank you, Alan, for buying that. That's made out of cloth and wood, by the way, not the glass thing. But yeah.
Apparently, Richard Phelps has been defunded.
Well, you'll have to help me. Who's Richard Phelps? Because I'm not great with names.
Vogues.
Oh, Richard Vogues.
Bald-headed guy with glasses.
Oh, right. Oh, well, it's only a matter of time, to be honest. But I mean, if he's got himself organised, that I would imagine that he wouldn't be able to monetize a lot of the stuff he was saying simply because he was coming out with things that like the vax and stuff like that. Those are things that you're not supposed to talk about. But I mean, people already know the truth about it now, so there's no point in talking about it anymore because people have seen, people have seen the difference, right, between the ones that had it and the ones that haven't had it. They've also seen how effective. So there's no need to speak about it anymore.
Well, we had to. All of us had to. And then we woke up. Well, I mean, I think I've said it to you before. We were watching Alex Belfield.
Right.
And rightly or wrongly, what he done, whatever. I will have to say, Jeremy Vine had his daughter's names on the company forms on Company House that was free for anybody to go and look at with his address.
Yeah.
So he didn't publish anything that wasn't in the public domain. If he did publish it,
no, I mean,
and he
to be honest,
down for it.
I mean, I was never a great fan of Alex. I'll be honest. However, he did real small bite-sized stuff that people liked, and he was getting the information out there. Fair enough. However, going after people in the way that he did was always going to cause him problems. I've got itchy nose today. Yeah. I wouldn't mind, but I can't afford the habit. So why I've got itchy nose, I do not know. But anyway, so isn't it? You know what I mean? If I could afford the habit, I wouldn't mind the itchy nose, but not that I actually like stuff anyway. But yeah, he will, dare say, pop back up and carry on doing what he was doing and basically take off from where he was before. But I was no great fan of him. All right.
No, I said I think he was a man of the time.
Yeah, Alex Belmarsh was a grifter. Oof. Yeah,
but Belfield. Yeah.
No, he called him Belmarsh. He meant to.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, a lot of them are. As an example, who's one of the top YouTubers now? Matt Armstrong. Do you watch him?
No, I don't watch a lot of what other people do nowadays. I've stopped doing that, and I just stick with what I believe.
He started 4 years ago fixing cars in a car park in COVID.
Right.
Yeah. He's worth millions now. He's currently doing up Marcus Rashford's Wraith that he crashed, Rolls-Royce Wraith. Yeah.
Right.
700 and Mansouri edition, 700 and odd £1,000. Only done 1,000 miles and he wrote it off.
Oh dear.
He's gone and bought another one, apparently exactly the same spec, just a different colour. So he's doing that up, and he bought a parts car to get the bits off, and a cheapest running Rolls-Royce Wraith. Use it as a parts car to get the structure and all that done on the Mansouri. Then his mate from America came over and said, right, I'm going to get the parts car back running. And he bought a flood-damaged Wraith. The engine was knackered. Dude, he's got that up and running. and they're doing a raffle to win the race, £5 a ticket. And I thought, oh, have a little go. Went online, did it, signed up to the thing, and then it came up about when you went to buy it to authorise it in your banking app, and it was like, oh, hang on. And I looked at terms and conditions, and then I had to go through to another page as well. And lo and behold, reading through it, you are granting the payment provider that they've got for this access to your bank account to read all your transactions under a thing called open banking. And you dig a little bit further, and you've got 320 financial organizations in this country that can do it. And one of them is HMRC.
Great.
Hey, and I talked to a mate on it, and he said, funny enough, I've just received a thing for a tax rebate from HMRC. You've got to go online to process the tax refund to go into your account. And guess what they're using? They're using open banking. So you go online to issue a tax refund to your account, and you then grant HMRC the rights to go and have a look at what your transactions are.
They still give you the choice of sending you out a check. So I took the check.
Yeah, but there is that option, but they're not making it clear. He works in IT like me, and he just had a pop up, and he's like, hang on, that doesn't look right. And it was open banking, ob.bankname. So this is what's going on in not sort of plain sight, but it's all part of the digital future, digital currency, digital ID.
It's what we've got coming.
Stuff like that. And it's like the guy I buy my cartridges off. I do clay pigeon shooting. The guy who buys my cartridges off, he's on his third bank account now. Well, he's operating a legal business, but he's getting banks turning around saying, don't want to deal with you. And all this. And how long does it come back to, hang on, you're buying cartridges?
Well, that's the problem with banking. Basically, they've got you by the balls, because everything you do now can't be just done in the old days. It has to be done through a bank. And that was one of the ways that they could control you. So, I mean, cash in hand, they want to do away with that by doing away with cash. And then you'll be even more over a barrel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's gone. The little things. And as I say, the little bit of grease that oils that oils the machinery, gone. Absolutely gone. You once they've got that, you sell something on eBay, you'll get taxed on it.
Yeah.
I know there's £1,000 thing now and this and that. And
well, like every time you make a transaction, it takes X amount of pence from you, and it might be more. So yeah, this is a great way of just taking more and more money. They're always coming up with new great ideas to relieve you of your cash. You'll have nothing and you'll be happy.
Yeah, Labour, we won't raise taxes. Yeah, but they never said we won't introduce totally new taxes.
Well, when they say they're doing away with one tax, just be aware they'll probably come up with 3 or 4 more stealth taxes you'll get hammered by.
Paper mile being flouted at 8 pence a mile.
8p a mile.
Depending on your car,
that's great. But 1 minute, does that mean we get away with a standard tax? You don't do that anymore. You just pay by the mile.
No.
Exactly. See,
this will be on top.
Yeah, exactly. If it got rid of the old tax, I've got to be honest. My car out there hasn't been out in a week and a half, right? Because I use the van to go to work in. So if it was paid by the mile and it wasn't the other way, my tax on that car is 600 and some odd quid, 680, is it? Something ridiculous like that a year, because it's not, it's a 3 litre in it or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I pay it because fuck them. But if it went to just per mile, I'd be so much better off, but they won't do that. So
no, you'll be paying the fuel duty, which is a pence per mile duty.
Right.
So every mile you're doing, you're paying duty on the fuel you're using.
So they're going to put the fuel up.
No, this is going to be on top of the fuel.
Right.
So
How are they going to charge this? Are they going to put the price of fuel up to cover the per mile? Right. Because if they put extra duty on the fuel for this mileage thing, then a car with a bigger engine is going to pay 3 times as much per mile as a car with a smaller or more effective engine. So how will this work? Or have you've got to get one of these boxes fitted to tell people where you are and where you're not? Or does it go every year on the
I'd go
MOT?
more likely with that's what Boris Johnson flouted that a number of years ago. Oh, well, what if we give everybody, say, 3,000 miles a year, and then everything after that, we charge you per mile on your MOT. So you'll go along, get your MOT, and there's your bill for your mileage, or you pay in arrears monthly, or something or other. Or be it like self-employed, you may end up having to pay a big chunk plus half of next year, and you start paying in advance.
Well, if they did it through the mileage, it's not hard to disconnect a speedo, you know.
Well, on older cars, yeah.
Mm.
You know, on newer cars, it's all by wire, isn't it? And stuff like that. You know, you can even tell when the car's had its faults cleared.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's the date time it happened, and that it's all, everything is being monitored, tracked, and
yeah. I mean, they're going to take all the fun out of everything. Why? Because they can.
Yeah.
So all the cars that are coming to the EU are now fitted with the ability to stick to the speed limit.
Speed limiter
Now,
and geofencing.
But the trucks are doing this already, by the way, right? So modern day trucks, you can put the cruise control on, and it will take you down to 30. It will slow you down for the car in front. It knows you're going to a roundabout, so it'll slow you down the appropriate speed to take you around the roundabout, and it'll do all of that, right? So literally, if you have a good run, you might touch the accelerator or the brake 3 or 4 times on a particular run, and all you've got to do is wind the steering wheel around.
Yeah. So what are you then, really?
Well,
you're man-machine interface.
You were literally you're the jam in the donut that they blame if anything goes wrong.
Yeah. It'll become like that, Joe, won't it? With in the cockpit of a plane, there is a dog and a pilot.
Mm.
The dog's there to bite the pilot if he touches anything. The pilot's there to feed the dog.
I've not heard that before. I like that.
But
yes, we're in the end times now, so they're just going to crack down more and more and more till you just say, I can't afford a car.
Yeah, well, that's coming. I've been saying that. I have been saying this for years, that we are in the end of times. You know, the Roman Empire, the Grecian Empire, the Byzantine Empire, they all collapsed into hedonism.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's happening. My mate's just been in London, and he sent some pictures, and he was using it. Somebody dressed up in all bondage on the high street, on the main road in London on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, it
Full
is.
on bondage, mask.
It is.
Like,
it's
the hell?
Fucking end times.
I don't care what you do in your own bedroom. Don't give behind your own door, whatever. As long as you're not harming people.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, whatever tickles your pickle, as long as somebody else is the pickle that wants to be tickled, or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah.
Or as long as the person wants to be harmed. If you get my meaning.
Yeah, I mean, if you're one of those strange people that gets off on the pain thing, not me personally. Fuck that off.
No.
I mean, it's just a massive case of no on many forms. But anyway, we'll get off that. So it is crazy times. Anyway, my old mate, what I'm going to do is see if anybody else wants to call in. Then I might wrap it up and go and get some shopping, because I've got to go to the shops.
Just one thing. I've sent you a thing on WhatsApp.
Not a thing.
Yeah. And it is a photograph of somebody that appeared in a Black Rock video, and apparently this Black Rock video has been taken down. Could be true, could be false. But yeah, he was last seen on a roof. If you know what I mean.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, this will be interesting. Just bear with a sec. I'm going to have a look at that now while you're there. Right, what's that? Which one did you send it to, Shaq?
I sent it to this number, but on WhatsApp.
Right. Bear with. Oh, fuck it. No, I can't do it now because this wants to go through the you need to update bullshit. That's a shame. All right, mate. Well, no worries.
I'll say when you get a chance, have a look. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I just seen it and thought, oh, I'll save that. And yeah, maybe a load of bullshit. Don't know.
No worries.
It may be put out by BBC Verify. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it could also be put out there so that the right run with it, and then they'll find out it's not actually him, and it shows us all like be stupid. So these are the things you got to worry about.
I know.
No worries.
I know.
All right, mate. Well, I'll let you get on,
then.
and thanks for calling in. I'll see you in a bit.
Cheers,
Bye,
fella.
mate.
See you, Doc.
Donkey. Yes, bless him. He always calls me Donkey. Fuck me, we got another call. Hello.
Rev, it's Mark.
How you doing, mate?
I'm good. You?
Oh, well, I'd say I was living the dream, but broke like the rest of you.
living the nightmare. Listen, I've only just popped on and seen the stream there, so I haven't seen all the stream and what you've been talking about. I see obviously the title, but I've just seen a video coming out of Kentucky in the States of a train carrying approximately 200 tanks on the way to somewhere. So I thought I'd just sort of give you the heads up. You probably find the video there yourself.
Yeah, that does happen.
Yeah, that's I just wanted to mention.
That does happen a lot. I mean, they will, especially as it's the States, they will move vehicles like that en masse to a certain area where they'll do training. You know, like we've got Salisbury Plain.
Yes.
And we'll see either a load of tanks coming down the motorway to head towards...
where you get poisoned, you mean?
In that place, yeah. Right? Go out for a day walk in Salisbury. Well, it's just near there anyway. So you'll see a load of tanks coming there, or sometimes we'll see them go up the motorway towards Wales, and they will do training. So that in itself isn't too mad. I mean, during the Cold War, there was a thing called Brixmat, and or Brixmas, I think it is, something like that, where we would go into parts of Russian parts of Germany, and we would spy on their tank maneuvers, and they'd move hundreds of tanks at a time from one part to another part to do stuff, and we'd sit there and spy on them. And if any of these protective armor fell off, we would look at that and send that off. And so this is nothing new, but it's when the tanks...
but with the news with our man Mr. Trump, I just thought it was quite interesting. There seemed to be quite a lot of them.
Be worried when you start seeing tanks get put on a ship. That's the time to start asking questions. When you're seeing tanks being loaded en masse onto a ship, then you got to go, where are they going? Is kind of thing. So
absolutely.
Somebody put here inflatable tanks. Yes, that was the World War II super trick, wasn't it? Where we pretended to Rommel. We had all these tanks. Worked though. Somebody's putting here Ukraine. Well, if Trump gets in, he reckons he don't give a fuck about Ukraine. And I don't know about the VP, what he thinks. Hang on, somebody's just dropped out. Oh, that was Alan. I've got two things going on at the moment. I've got this, and I've got people in on Discord that are there just monitoring comments and stuff like that. So, but anyway, yeah, I'll be interested to find out where the tanks go. But if they end up on a ferry or a ship or whatever, ask questions.
Yeah, exactly. All right, short and sweet, but yeah, speak to you soon. Great work.
Mate.
Thanks, pal.
All right, mate, take it steady. See you. We've got to remember not to look at everything like it's fucking terrible. A lot of things, maybe, but just not everything. So, yeah, I'm just wondering, do I wind this up now and go on and do my shopping and stuff like that? I guess not. We got another call. Hello.
Hello there, mate. Got a guitar for sale?
You have. No, I haven't. It's there to practice in the winter when fuck.
Yeah, you've been doing it, have you?
I have a quick go every now and again, but I'm going to do it in the winter when it's fucking cold and there's no point in going out. Because I should imagine, I would imagine it'll be more live streams when it's cold in the winter because nobody's got anything to do. And yeah, I might do a bit on here, but yes. Anyway, what's occurring?
I was just thinking, you got a day off today.
Unfortunately, the truck broke a while back. It dropped the valve seat, which obviously fucked it right up. So that's been taken for ages to get fixed. So they put me out in the really old truck, which is 11 years old. And basically where the ram mounts to the top, that had sheared off. So because it's just too old. And so we didn't have enough trucks to go around. So I said, fuck it. Yeah, I'll take the time off. And it's quite nice. I
hope you're getting paid for it.
No, I'm a fuck. I don't get paid.
Oh, fucking typical. Fucking typical.
No, you only get paid for what you do. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
so how's your health, mate?
So, say again.
How's your health?
Well, I probably need to go back to the gym. But other than that, yeah, mentally much better. I've been going out and mixing with others. I took the medication now. This is like 2 months. I would have thought, is it 2 months? Yeah, nearly 2 months in. And so I'm not getting the anxiety and stuff like that. So that's a bonus. And yeah, just generally all around, I'm happier. But I'm also, because of them, you're a bit like, what's the point? Like, you know, doing content, you think to yourself, I'm just going to say what everybody else is already thinking. Is there a point? You're a bit more chilled out. But I really should get back into it. But it's just, I've been doing this 9 years, and I'm thinking, there's a long chunk of your life to do this. Is it actually achieving anything now, or do you need to spend some time doing stuff for yourself? So that's the point I'm at.
Yeah. Was you the same as me when Labour got in? Felt like going into the corner of the room and just curling up and fucking crying?
No, I was chuffed. Let me explain why.
Oh, was you?
Oh, fuck me, yeah. Right, I'm an accelerationist. If we carry on at the slow speed we were with Conservative giving away bit by bit and not actually doing anything, people wouldn't notice. It's like, you've heard of the boiling the frog, right? If you bring the temperature up slow, the frog won't realize it'll boil to death. If you put a frog into a boiling pan, it'll jump straight back out again. With Labour getting in, they will enact so many fucked up rules that even a left winger will go, hang on a minute. But a lot more people will wake up if they're changing things so fast and going against what people wish. That's the only chance we have at the moment. We both Labour and Conservative were paid for by the same people. The two cheeks of the same arse, and they're heading in the same direction. One will do it fast. One won't do it so quickly. The quicker they do it, the more likely that the public will wake up and actually do something about it. So that's why I'm an accelerationist.
Are you worried about Russia?
No.
Then I ain't.
Not one bit.
Good. Then I ain't. Mate.
So, no.
I have been.
I mean, it's like this. I did some research on Russia going back years ago, and we looked at how many countries Russia had gone into, election rigged, crop burnt, coup d'etats, assassinations on leaders, etc., and how many other wars that they'd funded. Now, when you look at, say, for instance, communism with the Vietnam War, and you look at, say, for instance, when they went into Afghanistan and stuff like that, things like that stand out. But when you look at how many places we've been into, right, America ourselves and sometimes other people, right, and the amount of places we've ruined the Middle East, right, fucked it right up. We've been into other places, and in the last 100 years, when you look at the harm that Russia's done to places and the harm that we've done, right, in the name of democracy, it's ridiculous. If you look at how many times that NATO have tried to push its borders closer and closer to Russia and poke the bear, you know, it's not surprising they're going to do this. If NATO had listened to Russia, right, and I'm no great fan of Russia, you've got to understand this, right? But if you looked at NATO was asked, look, these Ukrainian people over here that speak Russian, okay, are being slaughtered by these bunch of people, incidentally, that wear the Nazi emblems. But is that not a problem? And he went on for ages, and they did nothing. Now, that was called a genocide that we overlooked. And yet, when you look at it, say, for instance, in what's the name of the country, Yugoslavia, when that broke up, you had Christians there that started to literally ethnically cleanse Muslims. When they did that, the entire, United Nations and everything else piled in to help the Muslims, right? So they'll do it when it suits them, but they won't do it when it doesn't suit them, okay? Now, with regards to Russia, Russia couldn't stand by and let those people be massacred, right? And it's since 2014 they've been going on about this. I think it might have been before that. But yeah, I'm no fan of either side. I'm not. But I don't think for a second that either side will ever launch a nuclear weapon anyway. They're only a deterrent until you use them. And then when you do use them, everybody shits it, right? Think of it this way. Every one of those globalists have nice property on coastlines, up in the hills somewhere, or whatever it is. They've got family, all right? They've got a life. Nuclear, like if both people strike at the same time, if it was just a small attack, the nuclear fallout from that would devastate many parts of the planet. If you look at when the Ukraine nuclear reactor went up. It will come to me in a second. In 80,
Chernobyl.
yeah, when Chernobyl happened in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Basically, we over Europe, because it went up in the clouds and then it moved around like this, and basically,
Wind direction, wasn't it?
Somebody meows. I could have sworn at the door go. You wait, I'm having my door kicked in by the filth.
Well,
Yeah, basically, yeah. Well, they came around last time, just knocked. Yeah, it ended up poisoning, or it certainly landed on our sheep and our animals all up and down the country were testing for it, right? All over Europe were testing for it. And that was just one reactor where I think about 3% made it into the atmosphere. And since then, that helped to break up the Russian Federation because of the expense and obviously the secrets. And they've literally only in recent times just built this like protective roof over it, so they can now deconstruct it and take out any uranium rods or whatever it was that will be left there. But no, I don't think that. I mean, I didn't actually think that Islam, if it got hold of nuclear weapons, would do it, because the people at the very top who aren't stupid do not want to live in a wasteland. The moment you press that button, your entire country is wiped out. Your financial system is wiped out. Your way of life is wiped out. You're literally sent back to the Stone Age. Why would a globalist who wants to be in control of things lose his control? None of them want to.
Unless they've got warehouses of AI robots to take over to clean the fucking shit up afterwards.
But they would no. But they'd still live a miserable life. I mean, the thing is also, what if the same people who we think are our enemy are involved with the 1%ers? Just hear me out here a minute. Right. So the Cold War, it cost trillions, right, for America, and the same for Russia. Now, on either side, they've got to make these weapons. They've got to make the places to launch them. They've got to train the people to use them. They've got to be able to move them about. They've got to upgrade them. Then they've got to put defense systems in place to let anybody know of other things coming in. Then you've got to put these installations all the way around the world. Well, imagine you've got the contract to do that, right? And imagine you've got the contract to supply the weapons. And imagine you've got the contract to maintain the weapons. And then you've got the contract to design the new ones when the next thing comes along. Then imagine your companies, or the companies that do that, are all a part of, say, for instance, the same people that run BlackRock. Now imagine, because they actually came originally from Russia, right? Imagine that they are probably funding the other side as well. They will never, ever allow it to actually happen, but to scare the shit out of the average person, there were people back in the 60s that went home on that weekend and thought they would never see Monday, right? That was an entire nation. We were over here shitting ourselves, because if it had happened, we'd have been it, right? Because obviously we, at the time, were like a floating aircraft carrier. We had nuclear weapons over here from America, right?
Yeah.
It'll never, ever happen. The only thing that would get close to it would be an accident. And in 1984, while we were doing our pretend organization for mock-up, the Russians were at their most fearful, right? They were doing stuff like watching the Houses of Parliament at night and where all the offices were, and they saw lights going on later at night, and they thought that was a sign. No, that was the cleaners going in. But they were doing all these sort of things. They were checking our blood banks to see if we were getting more blood in, or the emergency services. And they were paranoid as fuck. And when we actually did this thing, right, they actually thought we were launching on them, or their machinery thought. And there was one bloke who went against the machine and literally didn't launch. Anyway, he waited 15 minutes, nothing had happened, and he literally stopped nuclear obliteration, right? And because of that, they sacked him and fucked his life up. So amazing. However, there it is. But no, I don't think for a second that any human being will ever launch, because that's it.
Yeah. And that's put me at ease, mate.
And if you're a death cult, say for instance, like Islam, right? If you're a death cult, right? The death cult being everybody else has to be wiped out before you, then you get given whatever. If you're a death cult, you can't be guaranteed that everything else that you don't stand for, that isn't part of your thing, gets wiped out first before you do. So,
Oh yeah.
So there's things like that. There's for and against, but they'll never launch. But they will always hold that sword over our heads, so that we, the taxpayer, will fund stupid things. Right now, Corbyn wanted to get rid of Trident. Now, Trident, we own the warheads, right? But the rockets were supplied by the Yanks. Now it's twice.
Well, you know they test. You know they tested two.
Yeah, they fell into the sea.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, they failed.
And long before that happened, I always said, why would you trust some other country giving you the delivery system, right? At the end of the day, should they or could they have not fitted something in there that could actually stop that moving to its target should they want it to happen?
Why didn't the Jews do that when they were making the weapons for the Germans?
Well, they did not fit the right stuff. And I mean, when you look at, say, for instance, the French, when they were selling Exocets, Thatcher put the heat on them and said, you know, you can't be doing this. You need to do whatever it takes to make sure that these things don't work. So the first lot did work, and then they put the wrong chips in them. So, you know, you got sea to air, ground to air, air to air. Now, I don't know enough about it, but I knew that they fucked around with these missiles to make sure that many of them didn't go off. So you'd see these things hit the side of a ship, but not go off, luckily.
Yeah.
But there it is. And I mean, someone was saying that they were launching too late, so it didn't have time for the fuse or whatever. I don't fucking know. But it was taught that the French got involved in because we put pressure on it. Anyway, 1 second. Just have a look at the comments.
Anyway,
there it is, yeah.
Nice talk to you.
All right,
I'll
buddy.
let somebody else get on.
All right, mate. You take it steady. I'll see you in a bit.
Keep up the good work, bro.
I'll try. All right. See you in a bit.
Ta-ra.
Fuck me, I'm thirsty. Is it time for a point? Let's see. Wait a minute. If that phone goes again, I'm going to get a can. Nope. Oh, right. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm all good. I was a bit thirsty, so I've had to get a can. I would have liked a glass because I look like a bit of a savage, but I've got the thing now, but no glass. So please do forgive. Anyway, what's on?
That's fine. Right, basically, obviously, I'm 37 years old. I've owned up quite a few times, to be fair. I'm a lot more for America than I am for the Great Britain, because, in my opinion, England's gone to the dumps. However, what happened with Trump the other day isn't obviously very good. And according to Nigel Farage, that I heard this morning, apparently his life was threatened, and the BBC have come out and said that it's a good thing if he gets a bullet in him.
Are you surprised? I mean, don't forget,
no,
right?
but it's nothing wrong though, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
look at the size. Look at the size of the
dumb.
footprint, right? Of, say, for instance, people like Farage, and they get on all different TV programs. Their opinions are sometimes misconstrued, sometimes printed properly. They're on all of the internet and stuff. And if you're one of these that stands against everything they say, right, then you're going to be threatened, right? This is nothing new. Some people say that they're being threatened when they're not. I could think of a few people, YouTubers included, that say, oh, I'm being threatened. You need to help me and support me and all the rest of it. Whatever. Isn't it funny? Like, say, for instance, nobody's ever come out and threatened me.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't happen. And I know YouTube is a lot smaller. Oh, they're coming for me. They're going to get my fucking house. They're going to come for my kids. They're going to do this. No, they're not. You're just trying to get attention. Nobody gives a fuck about you. You're not that interesting. However, Farage, obviously, he is big enough now that people don't like him. They will have a grudge about him getting us a version of Brexit, and they won't like the fact that he's talking to the orange man. And there probably are people that would like to do him harm, but this is nothing new. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you've got a Republican or a Democrat president. All of them have had attempts made at them. Carter had it. Reagan had it. I don't know about LBJ. Certainly after that, what's his name? Reagan got shot. Then there would have been the attempts on people like Bush Jr., Bush Sr., the Clintons, You know,
Yeah.
There would have been people that would have had to go against Barack Obama purely for the color of his skin, I would imagine, not for the fact that he's bombed the living shit out of the Middle East. But, you know, and when you look at it, our politicians in the old days didn't need this level of protection, but they do now.
No.
Now, why? Is it that people are working out that these people are evil? Is it the fact that people are actually being, what's the best way of putting this? Stirred up to hate these people, to go out and do stuff? Is it a fact that basically our politicians aren't acting honorably anymore, and because they're not, people are getting more aggro? I don't know. But if you think about it, the gates of Downing Street, they're a new addition. They went up in my lifetime. And you could have got people in the old days drive themselves around without lots of cars around them and police. You can't do it now. Maybe this is a show. I mean, if you think about it, Gaddafi, the least person you'd expect to be able to do this, could hang out the top of a 4-wheel drive with just a driver driving around the streets with no other people. I mean, how does a person that's meant to be as evil as he is get to do that when our lot can't? You know, it's weird. It's something I can't answer.
It's mad. I just think it's terrible. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I know he said already that he's obviously going to sue the BBC, and he's somebody threw a punt over him again the other day, and he's now suing. He's now pressing charges on them as well. He's always said, no matter what happens, I'm always going to press charges, which he's got to.
Yeah.
So he's got to do that. I mean, because otherwise, if you don't, then everyone in the world and his wife's going to throw everything at him.
Yeah. No, you have to make these people, if they're going to, because it's an assault, all right, you have to go through a legal process with them. Just a quick one. If anybody thinks they're having their comments removed by my mods, right, if the mods are doing it, they'll let me know. But what you've got to understand is if you've put something that's a swear word or whatever, YouTube will take that straight out. It's not our lot. I mean, we want you, whether you like us or not, to post, right? Because at the end of the day, it's more of an interesting comment section if, you know, people that don't like me are posting stuff, because it's just, well, it gives me a giggle anyway. So no, YouTube are probably...
Well, YouTube's very soft.
Well, YouTube, hurt your word or whatever.
Softer.
Yeah, take it out and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, if you are watching this, share it so that we can get some more like subscribers, viewers, whatever you want to call it in here. I don't ask for your money or anything else.
I just finished work and I saw that you was on, and I went, Reverend's on.
Yes. Well, I thought to myself, got a day off. You know, rather than do a video, why don't we just have a chat and then let people come on and say what they think? Farage is the establishment. He worked in the city for years, precious metal, rubbing shoulders with all the bankers and all the other wankers. And if you see Farage originally, when he first came on camera, he was very like robotic, and he's been trained to be a public speaker. He's a very good public speaker, and he's definitely one of them.
Thing is for me, though, I mean, I was going back to the American one. I mean, I like, obviously, Donald Trump. However, you know, I'm looking at the pair of them, like him and Sleepy, and they're both so old, and it's like, surely there's somebody else, surely, that can do the job. I know, obviously, at the moment it's only them two, but bloody hell, like, Sleepy Joe Biden don't know what day of the week he's in. It's like, surely, and we got a 60-year-old, 50-year-old that can run America, right? No, you know, not.
It's nothing new. If you look at it, right, if you look at the Kremlin, back in the day, they had a succession of literally what they called geriatrics. And these people would come in and not last very long because they were on the last legs. And they used to spy on them. And one of the only ways they could actually spy on them usually was in the diplomatic cars that took them from point A to point B, the radio traffic between them and others. And what they got out of it was what football team they supported, you know, what they've been getting up to with their girlfriends or not. And moreover, what their ailments were. And what the West worked out from this is actually they were literally on their last legs and about to drop down dead. And that was the way it went until Gorbachev came in, who was at the time considered to be very young. He's 50 something, I don't know what. And he was the one that brought down their government. But why do they get these old people? Can you imagine you got yourself somebody who was fit and young, who actually did the right thing and inspired people? How long could he stay in? You know?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, one thing like that.
But I mean, Trump's been a superstar, if you want to put it that way, for many, many years. All right. Like, whether he's been on videos for like Bobby Brown, or he's been in adverts, or whether he's, been invited on all the shows and stuff like that, where he's had parts in things like what was that, Home Alone? He was in that. I mean,
Yeah.
And when a guy like that, his businesses are going to the wall, and he goes to the banking to bail him out, that doesn't come cheap. You have to make sure that you honor any obligation that you said you would, because if you don't, it's bad. And Trump couldn't have got to where I truly believe this now, that your likes of Trump and your likes of Elon Musk and whatever it is, they would never get to the stage of being billionaires without getting into the club. It can't be allowed.
Of course, yeah. Well, there's an old saying: billionaires have had to do something to get to where they are. They've all done something, either not necessarily corrupt, but they've all had to go in with the right people. We'll word it that way, to get to where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get there by nicey. You've got to be a bit cruel.
These actors that are going places, they'll only go places after they've been to the parties, and the evidence is there of them doing stuff. I mean, you look at them, they all have to go through and play a part as being a woman and wear a dress. And if you don't do that, you don't get in the club. There's so many things they have to go through. But once you've done that, if you look at these young actors that come in, and then you look at them later on in life, you could see that they're totally changed. It's almost as if the inside of them has been burnt out, and what's left is a professional answer machine. So
it's mad. But I mean, luckily the bullet didn't hit Trump, but apparently it didn't actually hit him. It hit the light that was there, and he got the ricochets that was there. So he actually didn't get the bullet, luckily, go into his ear.
I don't know. I haven't watched that much of it, because I've got to be honest, I've kind of stopped watching TV like that now. I mean, if I was to watch that TV, I could probably put out 3 or 4 videos a day, but it ain't good for your health.
Yeah, because there's another guy that I follow on YouTube. I can't think of his name at the moment. He goes to London with he's not English, but he's born in England. No, he's come over to England.
Maya Tusi.
I think that's it. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I think then. But he obviously did cut the videos on it. So but obviously that was. But it was mad. But so right, I'll let you go. I'm gonna go have a cup of tea, and then I'm gonna crack on and do another job.
All right, mate. You take it steady.
Right.
I'll catch you in a bit.
And you, mate.
Right.
Have a good one, mate.
Bye. Fizzy coffee. Some of you know what that is. The Welsh guy. Make us a pot noodle. What are you saying? So come on, what's on your mind?
Well, the breaking news that the diversity hire in Wales has been forced out of office after only 4 months because his own cabinet revolted against him.
Unfortunately, I've been out of the loop. What flavour is the diversity hire? Would I be right in saying he's not entirely Anglo-Saxon?
He came over from Zambia when he was 3 years old.
Right. I see.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the guy is so incompetent and so corrupt. If he had been white, he would have been in jail long ago.
Where do I go from there?
I mean, I remember the first time I saw him, and I instantly thought diversity hire. Well, and I've been proven right.
It's proven a strength, isn't it?
The guy is a shill. I was saying this as far back as 2021. This guy is a WEF shill.
So,
and that once Kim Jong Drakeford goes, he'll take over. And since he's taken over, it's been scandal after scandal after scandal, and incompetence and treachery. And
so it's worked out. It's worked out the way some people would have expected it. You know, the racists.
Well, all I know is he should never have been a politician in the first place. He should have been in jail. He was absolutely corrupt, taking money from people convicted of environmental crimes, and the biggest scandal of all that the media have kept hush-hush, and I've mentioned this on PAP a number of times, paying out taxpayers' money as bribes to billionaire alleged rapists to hold wrestling shows in Cardiff.
Mm. Nothing surprises me.
No. And then they're bragging about their corruption in the media. And then the Welsh mainstream media have turned on him in part because he didn't pay a big enough bribe to WWE last month to hold their show in Cardiff instead of Scotland.
Right. Yes, I kind of remember this. Yeah. So
yeah, he's
who's going to get in his place then?
Most likely is a guy called Giles, who's very LGBTP.
Giles would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, it's just absolute chaos, and Keir Starmer has held up Labour in Wales as a model for how they want to govern the United Kingdom.
Well, badly.
And I was saying before he resigned today, oh, this Vaughan Geffing character, he'll be gone by the end of the year, and probably Starmer too. And I stand by that. One down, one to go.
So
it'll be interesting to see who replaces Starmer.
Well, we could have the Ginger, but they're pushing her out. So
I think it'll be Lammy.
Can we not have Abbott?
No, I think it'll be either David Lammy or what's her name, Yvette Cooper Balls. For one simple reason, her husband Ed, member of the Bilderberg Group. David Lammy, member of the Bilderberg Group. So it's going to be a Bilderberger.
Every prime minister, including Thatcher, but since Thatcher has been a member of the Bilderberg Group.
Yeah, so it's going to. They may do some sort of deal where she gets to be PM and he'll take over from her afterwards and be deputy PM in the meantime. But the fact that the Bilderberg Group are having to recruit cannon fodder like David Lammy shows just how weak and insecure their position is.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking in the comments and it's got nothing but the truth. If you're a friend of mine, I'm a Norwegian Jew that it loves your country. Good. Incidentally, the people that you've just mentioned that would be held up in high regard, are they supported by the Middle East Forum, perchance? Just a question. No, not you. This isn't a question to you. That was a question to the guy in the comments. So, because I know they are. So, anyway, let's move on. So, so we've got more diversity as our strength or more stupidity as our strength, one or the other. Yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent.
But it will be interesting to see what happens to Lammy between now and January the 20th. Will he be booted out by Starmer? Will he boot Starmer out? And if he does boot Starmer out and Trump somehow manages to get back in, what will be the relationship between Britain and America then? And hasn't everyone noticed how awfully quiet a certain Mr. S. Khan of London has been recently?
Yeah, well, it does make you wonder, what's he planning?
Exactly.
I mean, I saw him in an interview with somebody the other day, and he looked very happy with himself. He's very good at the job he does in putting on the front. He does, you know. I don't think that he's in the interest of our country or in our city, and I think personally that he's doing the work that he was always meant to do. But I have to be honest, I don't think anybody who makes it to a position like that is going to actually be of any good blood.
No. Well, yeah, you know what he's like because by the company he keeps, Nation of Islam, other groups that are very much pro-Islam and anti-Britain.
Mm.
But apparently, when he was a government minister under Tony Blair, he was detained at immigration in the United States, and he threw a temper tantrum saying, "Do you know who I am? I'm a government minister."
Who are we talking
And
about
the
again? Khan?
Americans, yeah, Khan.
Well, you know, he was also the legal representation for one of the, or one or two of the pilots that were meant to have flown into the World Trade Center.
Nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me. So, yeah, diversity for the sake of diversity is a weakness, not a strength. And DEI is beginning to take its toll on even the Bilderberg group now.
I'm upset about that. Sorry, I'm looking at the comments. They're getting more spicy now, so they're interesting. Translating coming out wrong. Yeah. Okay. So, right. What I'm going to say is I'm going to probably get off, right?
Yep.
And yeah, we'll do this on a Saturday night when I've had more to drink.
Yeah.
But you take it steady and keep an eye on politics over there and let us know how it goes, all right?
Yep.
You
Nice to speak to you, Rev.
all right, see you in a bit, mate. You're saying because I have a Jewish flag, there's a problem. I can't see the Jewish flag. With me standing alongside what yours planet are you living on? Oh, okay. So it's going off between Alan and nothing but the truth. This would be interesting. Alan. Right. Do we have any more calls or do we wind it up? This is a question. Or do we have any more stories? What was it? Right, let's see if we can present this. Invite, present.
Talking with a friend recently, and we were talking about, one of the big dangers in the world, of course, is nuclear proliferation, though, of course, the Biden administration doesn't care about it. And I was talking about, what is the first truly Islamist country that will get a nuclear weapon? And we were like, maybe it's Iran. Maybe Pakistan already kind of counts. And then we sort of finally decided maybe it's actually the UK, since Labour just took over. But interesting comment. I mean, Vance isn't wrong. Right. Okay. I think we've done as much as we're going to do on here. I shall wind it up and I shall see you on the next live stream. Thank you to all who came on. Thank you to everybody who commented. Thank you to everybody who rang in. Thank you to the mods for banning all the comments. Just kidding. All right. Because it didn't. And thanks to all who do and don't like. I'll see you in a bit.